Taro in here. Today I thought we would kind of hang out and take a look at some different deck pairings that I really like. I don't know, just something to do. All right, so we're in my bedroom. This is unusual and a little bit uncomfortable. I film in my car most of the time for privacy's sake, but obviously today this is not a car. This is by my window in my bedroom in the space that once upon a time was my vanity. I haven't used this space as a vanity in a very long time though. I've been doing what little makeup I do in my bathroom. This space has been largely inaccessible due to my messy room state, so we're in the process of fixing that, and maybe once it's all done, this will be a more comfortable spot for me to film in. This is an herbal tea, by the way, of my own concoction. It's got some mugwort, some sage, some other goodies in there. Alright, so let's play around with some pairs. This is one of my favorite things to do when I'm bored. Let's use, I was thinking, I haven't used the Fountain Tarot in a while. This is one of my favorite decks. It's a really good shuffler, and I like to use this one for like speaking to my highest self. It shuffles really well. Watch this, even on camera. Oh yeah. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. It's got silver gilding on the edges. I don't love that, but it is what it is. Do you do that? Do you like sit here and take the cards? I'm not going to show you, but I like bounce them against my body to straighten them out. Am I the only one who does that? Oh, this deck shuffles so well. Let's just get a good little shuffle here. Split her in two. How are we going to fit this? Let's see. What we'll do is we'll just do them face up. How about that? See, we're learning together. You and me, the entire internet who's bothering to watch this, we are learning together. I'm going to try this with, this was what I was going to do earlier today, but I got anxious and I decided I had to clean my room instead. And then after I had done a little bit of cleaning, well, I got the bright idea to try to film. So here we are. Let's pair this with the Tantric Dakini Oracle. This is one of my newer acquires. This is what the back looks like. I do not keep it in its box. I keep it in a bag that I handmade for it. When I said in the other video that my bags look like crap, mostly I was referring to this nasty edge here. I don't want to talk about it. That was not me being present in my mind or in my thoughts, and I don't want to talk about it. That was an accident. Anyways, I'm learning how to sew again. When I was younger, my grandma taught me, but I haven't touched a sewing machine in years, and so I don't remember how to use one. So I am getting back into it by hand stitching everything. All right. Here we are. We've got the Knight of Cups, the King of Wands, and Puja, Purification. I like the yellow that's coming across here, and then this gray color, the way they're both mirrored in this center card visually. I like that quite a bit. Let's do it this way. Get a little bit of the backs together. I'm a sucker for the way backs look together. That's just a me thing, I'm sure. Ten of Wands, Two of Cups, and Survival. This idea that if you have this overload, if you are this overwhelmed, if you're barely struggling, like you're barely surviving, you're struggling to like make it through all of your obligations, the only way that you're going to survive is by leaning on others, tapping back into those intimate connections that you have with other people, not in a celebratory way, but in a vulnerable way, in a way that says, hey, I need you. And that's where you're going to get your support that's going to help you to be as tough even in these drier climates, as you really are. And we get the Queen of Swords, Eight of Wands, and Holocaust. That's not a very pleasant reading. I don't like that message. We have some floating titties. Good old-fashioned floating titties in space. Page of Wand, Five of Coins, and Mother's Milk. The Rose Garden, Four of Swords, and Knight of Swords. You've learned that you cannot do any more in the situation that you're in. You've made as many clever and logical decisions as you possibly can, but at the end of the day, you've come to find out that what you really need to do is take a step back. You've been doing too much, but not because you are doing the wrong things or too much of things, but you've been doing too much because it's what was needed of you, and now it's time for you to rest. There's no more work to be done. And really, the kind of rest that you need is the sensual kind. You know, spend some time with yourself and let some steam off that way. This channel is not for children. The Emperor, Six of Cups, and Self-Created. Hanged Man, Way Through, and the Lovers. Now, something to know about the Tantric Dakini is that the basic layout of the deck is loosely inspired by the tarot. So, for example, this one here, number 9, this is based on the Hermit, this card right here. So that's a thing to know about the Tantric Dakini. I've actually been doing a study on this particular deck, and I'm not very far into it. I'm still reviewing even just the key phrases. I have not read the guidebook through all the way, but I have mixed feelings about this tarot deck, or this oracle deck. It's unusual. I like these two together. I don't know that every single pull here is giving a super strong reading. Page of Swords, Seven of Cups, and Chameleon. That I could definitely get some messages out of. But I do find that visually they go together well, which is good, because I find the Fountain Tarot and the Tantric Dakini both difficult to pair, so it's nice to see that they work well together, at least in some respect. So those are two that I'll come back to again in the future. Let's try to pair the Tantric Dakini up with something else. Let's see here. Give it a... This deck is almost too big for me to shuffle, but the cardstock is so flimsy that it works. Actually, you know what? I was going to pair the Tantric Dakini, but let's play with the Fountain Tarot some more. I want to try to pair it with the Poesis Oracle. That's something that I haven't done yet. I'm going to pair it with another Oracle deck to show y'all guys. I need to do a review of this other Oracle deck, and it's not going to be a good one. It's... Oof. Okay. So, the Fountain Tarot. Give it a shuffle. So the most common deck that I pair, I'm just going to grab a couple here. We're just going to make this whole video about playing with the Fountain Tarot. This is the Poesis Oracle. I grabbed this deck so much lately. So we're going to look at this one next. I don't think I'm going to like these two together, but I've been surprised with the Poesis Oracle so far. So we're going to see how I... how I like these together. We're going to see how I like these together. All right, let's do it. Poesis in the middle in its enormous glory. So look at that thick stack. Oh, I love it. I love a nice thick oracle. Yeah, immediately I'm not wowed by these together. Compassion, 6 of Cups, 4 of Cups. I mean, they give good messages. I don't think there's a way the Poesis could be paired with anything and not give good messages. Death, noise, 2 of Cups. Find what's important and kill it and spend time with other people. The joke here is that other people is what's important and you don't really need to spend any time figuring that out. The deck's telling you. Ace of Swords, breathe, 8 of Coins. You've got a new idea. You've been doing the same thing for a really long time, but right now what you need to do is take a step back, take some deep breaths, and start on this new understanding that you have for what's next. The Hierophant and the Fountain, surrender. Time to get in touch with God, time to get in touch with Source, time to go to a spiritual leader, and that spiritual leader can be yourself, it can be someone else, but time to turn to learning and to getting in touch with whatever the higher power is that you know and surrendering to it. These all very much so speak to like this idea of higher power. 5 of Wands, 6 of Swords, and Child. Yeah, these are readable, but I don't think I aesthetically enjoy the combination. Let's do something else. And that was, I don't think I showed you the box, that was the Poesis Oracle. Okay, so a thing to know about the Poesis, there's no thumb holes. So don't do like I did, don't stack the box in the lid because it does not want to come out. Oh, you have to do it like this. Like set it in like that. And then you can take the lid. I don't know if that's right side up and that's going to bother me, but I'm not stopping to fix it now. All right, let's get another deck to pair with this. Give a little cut. Give a little cut. Ooh, the Empress and the King of Coins. Interesting combination. Next, we're going to use the Modern Nirvana Oracle. Right away, I do like these two together. The Modern Nirvana is one that I usually save to pair with the, the Nine of Coins, the World, and Abundance. That's a straightforward read. This deck, this Oracle deck, the Modern Nirvana, I usually pair with the Zeke's Arcana. That's one of my favorite ones to use it with, and I'll show you one of these days. I'll show you those two paired together. I have used it with this one before. I like the way the backs look together. I'm not a huge fan of the cream with the harsh white, but they do look like believable art pieces that I could see sitting next to each other at a gallery. And that's kind of really what it comes down to for me when I pair things like this, is what could I see together at a gallery. So that is the Modern Nirvana. Let's do, okay, so the next one we're going to do is an Oracle deck that I don't want to say I regret purchasing it, but I haven't gotten much use out of it since I bought it. I think I bought it for the right reason. I genuinely thought it was going to help me to learn more about Ayurvedic yoga. It did not. It's a beautiful piece of work. Like it's got all the bells and whistles for aesthetics. It's the only thing it lacked was any sort of gilding. on the sides of the deck. That's the only thing that it didn't have. Everything else was just primo. But let's, here we go. Let us, first of all, split this deck. And then the deck I'm referring to, the Oracle deck I'm referring to, is Sahara Rose's A Yogic Path. Now, this was the first Oracle deck that I ever got, and like I said, I got it because I thought that I would learn more about Ayurvedic yoga with this deck. And I suppose in some small ways I have. It's absolutely beautiful. It's got a big guidebook that does not fit in the box. The box has all the fine details, including, may these cards bridge you to your highest self. Very beautiful. I could go get the guidebook. It's literally just on the shelf off to the side of me. I actually sort of tried to gild mine. Once again, I've said before, I'll say it again, I'm a really lazy deck edger, so this needs to be gone over again. It looks really cheap right now. I'm not going to lie, it looks like crud. I haven't given this deck away in part because of my modification that I made to it. It does riffle shuffle. At first when I got this deck, it was too stiff to riffle shuffle. But let's just play a little game with a Yogic Path Oracle, okay? We're gonna, the artwork in this is by Danielle Noel, so very ethereal collage. This is one of the few decks that I have that works visually really well with the Fountain Tarot. Two of Coins, Tantra, and Six of Coins. That's interesting. You're getting your, you're getting all of your sensual satisfaction from worldly nature, not from connection to other people. I don't read reversals. I love the artwork for this deck, but I don't find it to be... I've done a study on it. I have, in my grimoire, I have my study that I've done on, this is my grimoire, by the way. Let me find it. I've done Ayurvedic studies. So, I've done Ayurvedic studies. And I did not find the guidebook to be helpful in that at all. I had to go to a website to learn about it. Very good website. I'll link it below. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I'll link it. Okay, let me go grab the guidebook. I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay, so this is the guidebook. Let's take, it's big. It's got full page, full color pictures. It's stunning. Let's take a look at Bhakti. We're going to go to, one thing I want to say for this guidebook, it's got a table of contents that follows how it's broken up according to the writer, Sahara Rose, and then it's also got a table of contents alphabetically, which is so appreciated. Thank you for making this easy on me. So we go to Bhakti, which is on page 81. It's in the yoga section. So that tells me that Bhakti has to do with yoga. Great. 81. Devotion. Okay, upright. You have begun walking on the path of devotion, Bhakti Yoga. You are devoted to something greater than yourself, your body, your possessions, or your desires. This dedication is to the divine. Now is the time to ask yourself, what does divinity mean to me? When do I feel close to divine? Paths to Bhakti Yoga include kirtan, devotional mantras, meditation, and prayers to the gods and goddesses, offering service to those in need and spending time in nature. The selfless path of Bhakti Yoga takes you to the greatest ecstasy of all, the bliss of devoting yourself to spirit. In reverse, when you lose touch with the divine, life becomes meaningless. Our days lose color and words feel tasteless without this connection to source. How can you deepen your connection to divinity? Read the stories of gods and goddesses and choose one whose medicine you need. Offer a meditation, mantra, or prayer for this deity. Just this single act of devotion can shift your entire vibration and reconnect you to the source. Know that the whole of the universe is divine. Like, that's beautiful. But every single note or every single guidebook entry in this book is like that. It's like, here's a very little bit about what this means in regards to Ayurvedic yoga, to Hindi mythology, to history, but there's very little actual substance. It's just a bunch of postulating about how you need to get in touch with your highest self. And I do think it's a good idea to tell people to get in touch with their highest self and with source, but I can't do a book that's a bunch of cards that are only about that. And I don't think this guidebook has, or I don't think this deck has too little cards. That's not the problem. Most of the cards are gods and goddesses. Like the vast majority of the deck is taken up by gods and goddesses, primarily goddesses. And I do find that in some ways that's useful, but I wish there were more about the health aspects of it. There's a little bit, like the Ayurvedic section, all right, has Vata, Pitta, Kapha, or Kapha. I actually have no idea how you pronounce that. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, Pranas, Oyas, Tejas. That's it. And the rest of it, you've got all this about yoga, which is nice, and then the deities match how much you have about yoga. I don't know, I just wish there were more information in this book and less self-help nonsense. Not to say that the self-help stuff is always nonsense, but in this particular deck, I find it so redundant, so repetitive. There's very little new to take away. Anytime I work with this deck, this is one of my favorite cards. It goes so hard. Oh yeah, that's metal. I really struggle with finding a message in this deck that I haven't already found before. So what I'm trying to do is get to the point with my one-on-one path with this deck that I don't necessarily have to go to the guidebook. I can work with it intuitively, but I am nowhere near far enough along in my studies of Ayurvedic yoga or Hindi deities to be able to do that yet. So more study is necessary in order for this deck to be an intuitive reader. If you are a yoga teacher, you might like this deck. If you are already in in studies about Hindu mythology, you might like this deck. Like Brahmanism, any of that, like you're going to be able to find meaning here. Maybe I am just too Western. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe I'm just too uneducated. I know that's part of it. But another part is just that it's very self-helpy. It's very starshine. It's so pretty though. I wish there were a little bit more substance to this. And also Sahara Rose keeps emailing me and I don't know how to get off her mailing list. So that's another thing that annoys me about this deck. But those are the ones. Oh, no, I lied. There's one more that I want to show you with this deck, the Fountain Tarot. There's one more pairing that I think... What is going on here? Doot, doot, doot. Hold on. This is a deck that I don't see anyone online talk about, and I think I saw Lisa mention it in a, Lisa Papez mention it in a hot takes video, and her her takeaway up from it was basically just, I wish that it had keywords, and I agree with her. This is the Untamed Elemental by Tassaya Van Ree. It's, look at the artwork. It's geometric, it's colorful, it's minimal, and there's no keywords, there's only titles. I really want to love this deck. It is enough cards. It meets my minimum requirement of at least 50 cards. It's a good shuffler. I do, to some extent, read intuitively with it. I have done a study through the guidebook, like a full read through and note taking with annotations and everything. I have done that in the guidebook, and so I can read the deck a bit more intuitively than I used to be able to, but I have to say some of the entries are absolutely bogus. The guidebook is another one that's a little bit too love and light. It's not as bad as the Yogic Path, but it is Queen of Cups, Strength, and Whale. Love that combination. That's got some messages to take away. The High Priestess, Pegasus, and Fountain. Ooh, I like that one too. My issue with this deck is that you do have to kind of take it your own way. It divides up a bunch of titles into air, earth, water, fire, ether, and it does so in ways that don't always make sense. Some of them, for example, I believe cloud is actually air, not water. I'm not positive about that, but there's at least one that should be water and is air instead. And then there's one that should be air and is... I'm not even putting these together. I'm so sorry. But these two decks do go really well together, and I'm happy about that because I just want more excuses to use the Untamed Elemental, the Star, Eight of Cups, and Ladybug. So, like, if you know a lot about ladybugs, you can go off of this because there's not a lot here in the artwork to give you information because it is so geometric, it is so minimalist. There's very little here that's going to make it easy for you to read. However, if you study this deck, if you spend time with this deck, you're going to be able to bounce off of it a little bit better. I need to actually spend more time studying it and go back through and reread the guidebook. I've only read it the once, so I need to read it a second time because, again, this is Gordon Ramsay. I'm sorry. Have we seen the Emperor since the first draw? Some of my problems with this deck are really petty, but one of them is that this is Gordon Ramsay. The Emperor is Drake. Hold on. Now I have to find and show you Drake. I hate this card. The Seven of Cups, I'm sorry. I hate that card. It's so weird to me. Where is he? Oh, I passed him already. I'm so silly. That's Drake. You can't convince me that's not, that the artist didn't use the model of Drake for this. Like that, whatever. Maybe that's just a me thing. But that is the Fountain Tarot paired with the Untamed Elemental Oracle. And you will see more pairings. There's actually, I have one set of decks that I love using with the Untamed Elemental Oracle. I actually use it as a 3-deck pairing. It's a little bit polyamorous in that way. But I like to use it with my Bianco Nero and the, that one that everybody loves, the Wild Unknown. I think it pairs really well with those two decks combined. All right, so thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I don't think that we really accomplished much other than just hanging out and playing with cards, and that's really what this channel is all about for me, so thank you so much for indulging me while I did that. I'm actually probably going to film another video because I'm in the swing of it, and I am not in my car, so I can actually lay things out and let them be pretty. So I think I'm going to keep filming, but y'all feel free to go about your day. My tea has gotten cold. Tepid. I can drink tepid tea. Thank y'all so much. I love you all. I love today. I love tomorrow. I hope I love yesterday. I'm trying to love yesterday. Bye.